Hi everyone, Dan here for DJ Tech Tools. Today we're going to take a closer look at how the new Traktor 2.8 update allows you to use the XDJ-1000 in HID mode. So this is the first time you'll be able to use a CDJ-like device that's not a CDJ-1000 Nexus or CDJ-1000 with Traktor in HID mode. Pretty cool, because what this means is you're actually able to get a fully functional CDJ without spending over $1,500. Awesome. In order to get started, you'll need to do two steps of preparation first. One, you'll need to download and install Traktor 2.8. To update the firmware on your XDJ-1000, it's pretty easy. Step one, you'll want to go to your web browser, and I just literally typed into Google XDJ-1000 firmware. You can see here, Pioneer is the first result. Click on that. And when you get to this page, you'll see there is two downloads. There's a driver download for Windows, which you might need if you're on a Windows machine. And there's also a new XDJ-1000 firmware update. Now, in order to tell if you need this firmware update, you can check it really easily from your XDJ-1000. To do this, all you have to do is hold down Menu right there, and it'll go into the Utility mode. This is where there's a bunch of settings, most of which are you set once and then forget it. Let's scroll all the way down here. And then you get to the very bottom, it says version number. This is version 1.02 of the firmware. In order to work with Traktor 2.8, you're going to need version 1.04 or higher. Once you've figured out that you need this firmware and you've downloaded it, just click the little download button here, you've got a zip file. You'll uncompress that, and then it'll have a UPD file. Now, unfortunately, you can't just directly connect the XDJ with a USB cable and update it that way. It would be nice, but so far, no way to do that. To do this correctly, what you're going to want to do is get a USB key. I happen to keep one on my carabiner of keys here. And you're going to throw that into your USB slot on your computer. And once your USB drive shows up, you'll just click and drag this XDJ-1000.upd file into the root folder of your USB drive. Great, you're done. Eject the drive. Now we'll move this USB key over here into the main slot on the XDJ-1000. Now, in order to access the firmware on the XDJ-1000, you're going to need to restart the player. So turn off the player, and then you're going to want to put a finger on the in 4-beat button and a finger on the reloop exit button and turn it back on. The unit will restart, and you're waiting for a message here. Connect USB storage device into the USB slot. When you see that, release. And automatically it's detected that there's a new firmware on this USB device. So it's going to go ahead and start updating to version 1.04. Whatever you do during this part, don't turn off your player. If you interrupt the XDJ while it's updating the firmware, it could corrupt the firmware and potentially brick the unit. So don't do that. Cool, so it says firmware update is complete. All you have to do, turn off the power, turn it back on. You can pull your USB drive out now. You won't need that anymore. Now, on the surface, the XDJ-1000 with Traktor 2.8 works almost identical to the CDJ-1000. The difference is there's a few more extra features that make the XDJ-1000 actually even more compatible with Traktor. Now, if you have more than one XDJ, you may want to use a USB hub here. And also, if you don't have a DJM-900 or other sound card equipped mixer, you might want to use the sound cards on board the XDJ. That involves a slightly different process, and you can learn more about that by clicking here. Great, so we've got the XDJ-1000 connected. So in controller preferences, if you click on controller manager, and then under devices, you can look and see that the XDJ-1000 has automatically been added to your device list, and it has the in-port and the out-port right there. No setup required once you've got it plugged in. So on the XDJ, you'll hit the link button, and instantly you'll see there's a control mode. Now, usually link is reserved for when you have another XDJ connected, but in this case, since you have it connected to a computer, it's saying USB MIDI, which means you don't need to do any MIDI mapping. All the HID and MIDI controls are already done for you. All you need to do is push to connect here, and then you'll see a screen that says turn selector to choose Traktor deck. It's going to give you an option between A, B, C, and D. Let's choose B since I have this on the right side of the mixer. It'll make it way easier to remember. And very easily I can be browsing through my library, choose a song that I want, load it into the track, and instantly over here on Traktor, we've got control. We also have audio too. The cool thing about the XDJ-1000 is obviously all the normal controls work right off the bat. You've got your cue, you've got nudge, you have full vinyl control or CDJ control if you prefer. You have master tempo, so let's try that out. No master tempo there. That's with master tempo. The only things that don't work are things that don't have an equivalent in Traktor itself. Now there's two things that fall into that category. First, vinyl speed adjust. So that's usually used for slowing down the track as you start or stop it. You can see, even when I have it all the way turned up, it stops immediately. So that doesn't work. And also the reverse button doesn't work. Now you also can look into the loop mode here and set a loop very easily. Move through your loop. And even exit out of the loop with the exit. You can also activate the slip mode. Now, slip in Traktor is called flux, but it operates in just the same way. So if we have it enabled, we can drop a on-the-fly loop, and it'll keep playing the song. Pretty awesome. So let's also tap into the perform mode here. So in perform mode, you'll find features that you won't find on any other CDJ, and as a result, you will find features that you won't be able to access from any other type of player like this with Traktor. So all these perform just how they would if it were just the XDJ. So beat jump. Let's go by 4. You can also set your hotkeys. Pretty neat. And you also can half or double your loop. Now, if you're finding that you're having issues dropping the loop perfectly on time, you also can activate snap mode in Traktor. And the way that you do that on the CDJ is by hitting the quantize button. You can see snap mode has been enabled. Now when I drop a loop, it'll be right at the beginning of the phrase. Now the one feature that doesn't seem to be yet available on the XDJ-1000's connection with Traktor is the loop move. You can still jump forward and backward, but you can't move the loop with the XDJ-1000. So overall, the XDJ-1000 is an awesome match for anyone looking for a CDJ style experience, but not willing to pay a massive premium on that. And the Traktor compatibility works really well. If you guys have any questions about the XDJ-1000's compatibility with Traktor, or need help setting it up, just reply in the comments down below. Or if you'd like to see more cool reviews, tips, and tricks, subscribe by hitting this button, or watch this cool video here.